Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. In this video, we'll explain CloudPM's Rate Tiers feature. Rate tiers allow you to automate one of the most time-consuming tasks in maximizing revenue, tracking your hotel's future occupancy and adjusting your rates accordingly. When using rate tiers, CloudPM will monitor occupancy and adjust rates up or down based on parameters you specify. Let's see how this works. Rate tiers are activated from the Property Settings menu of your GM Functions module. In the Default Settings page, we'll find a checkbox marked Yield Use Occupancy Rate Tiers. When selected, we also have the additional options of either Standard or Custom tiers, and to include group blocks in the occupancy calculation. Please note that this video only discusses Standard tiers. When the tier option is activated, you'll see this section for rate tiers on the Rate Code Management page. From here, we can control every aspect of our rate tier yield management strategy, selecting which tier is the base rate, setting the high, medium, and low occupancy threshold for each tier, and how much the rate will increase or decrease when the occupancy reaches these levels. Let's start with our base rate. First off, what does it mean? The base rate is whatever you've entered here in the Add Edit Rates grid. When you select a base tier, these rates will be the starting point. This will affect whether the other two tiers increase or decrease. In this example, our base is the low tier, so rates can only go up. The next setting, Occupancy Percentage, defines the threshold for each tier. Here, our low tier is from 0 to 49% occupancy. The last option sets how much the base rate goes up or down, and we can use a specific amount or a percentage. Our low tier has no settings available because it's the base tier. So here's what's happening with our current tier structure. From 0 to 49% occupancy, the rates in effect are what we've entered here. From 50 to 79% occupancy, CloudPM adds $15 to our base rate. And from 80% on up, it adds $25. Note that the $25 is added to the base rate, not on top of the $15 we added to the medium tier. If our base rate is the medium or high tier, CloudPM will reduce the rate when the occupancy falls into the lower tiers. If you only want to use 2 tiers rather than 3, let's say you want just one increase and no decrease, we'll designate medium as the base tier, then set the medium occupancy from 0 to 84 and the high from 85 to 100. By setting the medium tier's starting occupancy at 0, we've effectively done away with the low tier. If I want to use a single decrease instead, I just select the high tier as base. Since each plan rate has its own independent tier structure, you have the flexibility to use different strategies on each rate as you see fit. Some plans, such as contracted rates, won't use tiers at all. You can even opt out of using rate tiers for a particular season by unchecking the Use Rate Tiers box on the Add Edit Rates page. Occupancy is calculated in real time, and for those hotels with a central reservations interface, CloudPM updates these changes to your CRS immediately. Speaking of occupancy, do you remember that option about group blocks? When selected, CloudPM sets your tiers based on total occupancy. If this is not selected, tiers are based only on transient occupancy. Since including or excluding groups can have a dramatic impact on your occupancy calculation, this is an important consideration for any hotel with significant group activity. To learn more about CloudPM's rate management features, watch our videos on day of week, day of stay, extended stay and dynamic rates, booking rules, and the daily rate manager. Thank you for taking the time to view this video. Please feel free to contact your account manager or our customer support center for additional questions.